All
Cheers.
right. Cheers. Let's do it in front of the camera now. Yeah. There we go. Cheers. I think being an artist is one of those lines of work where you're actually encouraged to do drugs while you're working. It's a part of the.
Yeah. I think
It's a
one
part
of
of the.
my professors, he told me, yeah, you can go and smoke something before you go to sleep. Like, it's okay. But
I loved it how he was very coy about
she,
it. Oh, she.
yeah,
She was She was very coy about it. Like, oh, if you wanna something. I'm
yeah,
not gonna tell you what,
yeah. You
but
choose whatever you
you
smoke.
choose whatever you want to smoke.
Yeah.
Some leaves of some plant, maybe flowers if you want. I've heard that flowers are also
Some of them can, yeah.
some of them can be interesting. Yeah. All right, so welcome everyone to another live stream that I'm doing here in the beautiful city of Haifa, Israel, with my good friend Liav, the legendary printmaker.
Not yet, but
Uh,
thank you.
I'm building it now.
All right.
Yeah, we actually had a very busy day in Haifa.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we did a lot of things. You can see on my Facebook as well and Instagram a bunch of pictures I already uploaded.
Yeah, we had some pastries.
We had some pastries,
Yeah.
and we were just at a workshop.
And
So first of all, okay, before we start blabbering on and on, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. Hey, hi Four. Thank you for joining Four. I
Hey.
love that you're here. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, so today we're going to do a more meditative style of music, which is what I've started doing in recent Sundays. And it's going to be very slow. I'm going to have some brown noise in the background, and I'm going to play something, and I'm going to read this bit of text by H.G. Wells that I started reading last time, but I think last time I didn't have a chance to get too far ahead, so I think now I'm going to start from the beginning while I'm playing this music. And the purpose is for you also to be able to use this music to do whatever you're doing, so you can listen to it and it can help you concentrate, whether you want to meditate in the, let's say, I don't know if to call it like a classical style, right? Which is what you would think about when you think about people meditating, like people sitting and in a yoga posture or whatever and focusing, and
yeah.
that's what I would call the classic way, or my version of meditation, which is actually something I wanted to talk to you about because of what we had a small exchange during your workshop, which is just with doing other things while you're listening to something, which is going to help you focus on the thing that you are doing. So usually what I like to do is I like to do physical tasks, but physical tasks that I already know very well. So they come to me as like very automatic, in a very automatic
second nature.
way. Yeah, like a second nature. I always give the example of like washing the dishes or cleaning the house is something that you can just do without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Or for you, it's something that you know very well, like your art form.
Yeah, maybe like printing, the actual
Right.
printing, which is it's very technical.
Which is what you're gonna do today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. For me, it's also carving.
Yeah. Exactly.
Carving the plates, or
Yeah.
because when I'm working, usually I know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So I don't have to think about it too much.
Right.
Just have to make some, like
and
aesthetic.
You have the muscle memory.
Yeah,
in your hands of
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like decisions of aesthetics that I have to take on the spot.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're actually coming now. We're gonna talk a little bit at the beginning, but then once we switch to the music, we're not gonna talk all that much. But I wanted, there were a few threads of conversations that we had.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the one yesterday, which I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to continue today, but also today. So we're just coming from a workshop that Liav was teaching in a local art school here in Haifa.
Yeah.
And he was teaching printmaking, which is what he does. And you're going to see him today doing some prints. You can already see now, I'm going to switch to that camera real quick so they can see it. You can already see his press right here, which he's
It's
going to use
etching
today.
press.
Etching press, which is made in Israel, we were told yesterday, right?
Yeah, in the probably I think middle to late 80s.
Okay, all right. So it's also
It's
somewhat
like
of a
vintage, some people retro. I don't know, like
right, like a collectionable item.
Yeah.
So today in the workshop, you said something about, I don't remember what you exactly said, but you said something about focusing on something or having like, oh yeah, because we were talking about like the guy who was running the school.
Yeah.
He was talking about listening to podcasts,
Yeah.
right? While
Yeah.
you're doing
Yeah.
something. And I said that it's meditation, and you said no, it's mindfulness or something like that.
I think
like,
I think
aren't
the
those the
end
same?
result
Yeah.
is mindfulness
So
in
okay,
some
but
way.
what is meditation then? How do you like? Why would? Because for me, mindfulness is meditation. Is it's a type of meditation,
Okay.
but also it's like the idea of noticing what is happening in the present moment and focusing on that is one of the most fantastic tools I know for
Yeah.
entering a
Yeah.
meditative
I think
state.
maybe mindfulness for me is the result, the effect, like the neurological effect that you have on yourself while you are in some kind of a meditative state.
Okay.
I think that's what I would think that is.
And what is that meditative state? Like how do you get to that state? What is that state when you're in it?
It's doing something like it's usually for me it's physical, like a technical or physical thing that I do for a certain amount of time. Could be half an hour usually, but it's kind of the same thing. Like I sit or I stand and I'm doing it without thinking about it too much and being in that moment. Like it's being aware to my how my hand is moving or carving or drawing or whatever, how it does the thing it does, and how can I make it better, or like how what can I do to make it not look so repetitive. So it's being aware and not aware at the same time. It's like that sweet spot in the middle for me. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean that's exactly what I meant. That this is what, like when you're doing your art form, you enter a sort of a meditative state, right?
I'm not sure
in parts of it.
In parts of it, yeah.
Maybe the craft part of it. Because I think
the technical
the
part.
technical,
Yeah.
right? Well, okay, yeah, because I'm saying I think every art form has two sides to it. One is the artistic, the creative side, which is not like there's nothing technical about it.
Yeah.
It's about like coming up with an idea and developing that idea and figuring out what is the creative process.
Yeah.
It's like it's fine tuning your ideas and your abstracts. I don't know, dimui, like
motive.
Right, motive or model or something. So that's the creative process. But then there's the craft process where you actually need to make the thing. Especially if you're doing something that is like an art, like printing, you have something physical to make. But even for me in music, there is a very technical process of writing a piece of music.
Yeah.
because I can play on the piano for hours
But then you have
and just
to,
invent things as I go along. It's
yeah.
very creative. But then if I want to make something into an actual piece of music, it requires a lot of technical ability of sitting down, writing it, maybe notations, maybe like
Right. So that's like it's considered to be technical thing aspect
right,
of it.
right.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing the technical aspect of it, because I already know the technical aspect so well, I can go into a meditative state.
Even when you're writing music.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of writing music is about like once I have the main idea, the main, let's call it motive, even though it's not always. But once I have the main idea, sometimes I even write music visually. Like I look at some notes
Mm-hmm.
and I write more notes based on my knowledge of the theory of music and what the next note should be. But it's not like I'm playing it on the piano first. I
Yeah.
just know that it will sound good because of what I know about music. So I can do it without
You know what to
listening.
expect.
Exactly.
All right.
I know
Okay.
how it will sound.
Okay.
But yeah. But anyway, the point was that through art, like my way of getting into a meditative state is through doing art,
Okay.
which is I think
It's the technical thing, the technical
the technical
aspect of
aspect
yeah.
of
Yeah.
doing art. Yeah.
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 All right.
Cool. So yeah. So you want to continue to talk about the future, which is what we did yesterday, right at the end of the.
Something specific that you wanna get back to?
I mean, okay, so I think what I was trying to say yesterday, and that relates to both art and the future, is that in the future all people will be artists to some extent.
Do they? I'm not so sure.
Because I mean, okay, with the advent of things like artificial intelligence and things like that, I think we will reach a certain type of age where most of the physical tasks that people do, and not just physical, let's say even technical tasks, I don't know, like counting, like organizing paperwork, like managing an office, I don't know, things that people do in their work that are technical, right? They might include a bit of creativity, but not like not to the level of actually telling a story with it.
So you think they're gonna be artists? I'm not
No,
sure.
I think machines are gonna do all these tasks, and then the only thing that is gonna be left for human beings to do is to be artists.
No, I think we'll have different problems when we will reach this certain point. That
Okay.
even if everything is all good and technology helps us to do certain stuff,
Yeah.
I think we'll have like other problems which won't
Of course.
won't give us the time to create, let's say, art.
Okay.
So you have like this small, I think, piece of society that would be artists, like some kind of like a clan or like a guild.
Okay.
That will continue the old ways.
Or a cult.
Or, yeah, you could call it a cult. Even now,
Right.
it could be a cult.
It's a bit of a cult.
Art cult. Yeah, it's kind
Right.
of. And I think that's something that will happen because not everybody wants to make art.
Okay.
So there's like
the
there's
key
crafts and there's art,
So
and
the
let's
key
separate
thing
both
here,
of
the
them.
key thing here, I think, is to really figure out like what do we mean when we say art and making art, because I sometimes extend the definition. So for me, even a computer programmer who's incredibly good at their job and they can find amazing solutions to these problems that other people have not found solutions to before, they are also a certain kind of an artist. It's a different medium that they use.
So we can't call them artists. It's different, and I think it's a conversation to a different time. Like not now. I don't think it's like a conversation we can end now and today and this, few an hour and a half that we have. I don't think we'll be able to figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, let me try and rephrase, because I understand that we're not going to solve
Yeah,
the entire
for sure.
discussion.
Yeah,
It's also not up to us.
Yeah.
I think we can release ourselves from this responsibility.
Yeah.
We don't need to decide this subject. I think it will be decided one way or another just by humanity at large.
Yeah.
But okay, let me not say artists. Let me say, I don't want to say creationists, because that means something else in, like, maybe a little more
Makers.
makers, yeah, people who create,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that will be the only job left for humans, to create new things.
I don't know.
I think that
I don't know.
may
I'm
be
kind
the-
of I'm kind of stressed about the future.
You are?
Yeah,
Why?
because I'm also a teacher,
Yeah.
and I see the young generation. Let's call it. I'm not young myself, but
Right.
I see the young generation. I'm kind of I'm nervous about them because I see how they behave with technology,
Yeah.
and they might not know how we figure stuff out because they already got everything like served to them.
Okay.
So I don't think they'll be able to reach the same point as we did because they already got the technology. And a lot of them don't know how to deal with technology as we used to as kids. We grew up with it and they were born into it. I think it's different. And I'm kind of like I'm not sure what's going to be the future in that sense.
Yeah, nobody is.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
mean,
kind of like
But I think every age has its own problems.
of course, but I think now with the like hyper progression of technology,
Yeah,
we're gonna have a problem.
we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, we already have some
And
problems.
there you go, because when you have problems, you also have creative people that are working on solving those problems. You have to. Otherwise, what are you gonna do with the problems?
I hope it's gonna be solved.
Okay,
in
look,
some kind of sense. Yeah.
If we look around at our generation, at the generation before us, at it, like, I mean, sometimes people just are not very good in whatever, but some of them are.
Yeah.
So in every generation, you have some people that are very unique and, like, very problem-solving kind of people.
Yeah.
So I think you will have that in the younger generation as well as in all generations.
I'm still hopeful, but not too hopeful.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a careful optimism.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay. So do you wanna tell us what you're gonna do today, and
Yeah,
maybe...
sure. You're gonna move the camera that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move to the
Focus
other.
on you.
Yeah. So, okay. So what I'm gonna do today is, as I said yesterday, I have this little liner block that I have to print for Finland. I have like a group exhibition. I think it's around 700 printmakers from all over the world, and we're making this huge installation of one print that made from this. It's 13 by 17 centimeters of prints, and everybody make those, and we make one huge one. It's based on painting.
Like a collage.
It's like a collage, but it makes one like original painting from I think it's Renaissance or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a painting of the Babel Tower.
Oh, okay.
You know, from the Bible.
Yeah.
So it's called Project Bible Babel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's from like a group in Finland. So I'm participating as a representative of Israel with 3 more printmakers, which I'm gonna meet in Belgium like 2 days from now.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them, and one already gave me her print, so she's from Israeli. She's Israeli, and the rest are also Israeli. But I'm gonna meet them in Belgium because one lives there, and one is gonna join me in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna print this. After I'm gonna finish this, I need like around 7 copies of this print. After that, I'm gonna print some of my older prints that I need to restock because I sold most of them, and I need to remake like a second or third edition of them. So that's what I'm gonna do today, and it's mainly printing in This is gonna be it's an American company named Akua. I really like them. It's oil based, but you can wash it with water and soap. It's really nice. It's Ptulo blue. I don't know if that's how you say it, but anyway. So I'm gonna use that. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So let me just bring the mic over here.
Yeah. And I'm gonna move the
camera.
The camera a bit. So firstly,
Alright.
here in this area, this is the ink slab, and then I'm gonna move it back to the printing to the etching print.
Nice.
All right.
And yeah, and as I said, I'm gonna start us off with some brown noise, which is gonna serve as like the background. Some brown noise, which based on several researches that came out, very good for bringing you into focus, and can lead you into a meditative state while you're listening to my voice, which I am going to use together with some nice music from my piano here, and some of the video of Liav doing his thing, doing his artwork. We're gonna create something together. And while I'm gonna play you music, as long as we're talking about the future, as I said, I'm gonna read this article written in 19, well, I think it was 1914 or 15. It was a little over 100 years ago, written by H.G. Wells. It's called The Discovery of the Future. And you don't really have to listen to the actual words that I'm saying. They are actually not that important. I mean, of course, if you're interested, you can listen, but if not, it's just about listening to my voice, which I'm gonna use in a slightly more monotone way, so you can focus on whatever it is you want to be doing right now. If you want to be creating artwork, or if you just want to do things around the house, like I mentioned before, like doing the dishes, or cleaning, or laundry, or whatever it is you want to be doing, or maybe doing some sport, right? You can also listen to this while you're right. Or yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like we talked about swimming before. I think listening to, I think I would like to listen to something like this while I'm swimming. Nah, Tai Chi maybe. Yeah, there you go. I mean, look, I think that running as well, it can like I said, I don't particularly like running, but if people like running, I think it also requires a, you know, the same kind of a focused meditative state, where you just want your body to be doing the thing and you want your mind to go elsewhere or focus on something. So yeah, so while you're listening, what I always suggest is focusing on your breath. That's the easiest way of picking something to focus on if you don't have something particular that you want to focus on. So just focusing on your breath, going in and coming out. And while you're doing that, if it helps you, when you're breathing in your mind, you can say the word in. And when you're breathing out, you can say the word out. Another thing which you can do, which I like doing, is instead of in and out, saying Sat and Nam, which are mantras from the Kundalini Yoga practice. That basically means Sat means truth, and Nam means name or essence or myself. So essentially, Sat Nam is a way of saying I am truth. Truth is my essence.
And you can do that, or once again, if you're not comfortable with any of that mantra mumbo jumbo thing, you can also just think in and out. It will help you focus on your breathing. And we're gonna start this is the discovery of the future by H.G. Wells, copyright 1913 by A.W. Not sure how to pronounce this name, but it's spelled H-E-S-S-H, printed in the United States. We lead into my subject most convenient to attract and separate two divergent types of mind. Types which are to be distinguished chiefly by their attitude toward time, and more particularly by the relative importance they attach and the relative amount of thought they give to the future. First of these two types of mind, and it is, I think, the predominant type, the type of the majority of living people, is that which seems scarcely to think of the future at all, which regards it as a sort of blank non-existence, on which it adds the present by events. The second type is, I think, a more modern and much less abundant type of mind. Things constantly and by preference, things to come, and of the present things, thinking in relation to the result must be right. The former type of mind, when one gets into the spirit, it is retrospective and active, and it interprets the things of the present and gives value to this and denies it to that, entirely with relation to the things. The latter type of mind is constructive and active. It interprets the things of the present and gives value to this and that, entirely in relation to things designed. While from that former point, our life is simply free of consequences of the past. From this, our life is here future. Former type, one might speak of as the submissive type of mind. It is the business, practice, and the training of a lawyer disposed of. We of all men must constantly refer to the law making the right established the rest of the set. and consistently ignore everything that is once established. The latter type of mind, my mind is in contrast to the legislative, creative, organizing aspects of time, because it is perpetually attacking and altering established order of things, perpetually falling away from respect for what the past has given us. It sees the world as one great workshop, and the present is no more than preparing for the future, for the thing that is yet destined to be. It is in the active mood of thought, while the former is in the passive. It is the mind of youth. It is the mind more manifest, long, young. While the former is the mind of age. Things have been, says the feeble mind, and so we are here. The creative mind says we are here because things have yet to be. Now, I do not wish to suggest that the great mass of people belong to either of these two types. Indeed, I speak of them as two distinct and distinguishable types, mainly for convenience and in order to accentuate their distinction. There are probably very few people who live constantly upon the past without any thought of the future at all. And there are probably scarcely any who live and think consistently in relation to the future. The great mass of people occupy an intermediate position between these extremes. They pass daily and hourly from the passive mood to the active. They see this thing in relation to its associations and that thing in relation to its consequences, and they do not even suspect that they are using two distinct methods in their minds. For all that, they are distinct methods. The method of reference to the past and the method of reference to the future, and their mingling in many of our minds no more abolishes their difference than the existence of highball process is that one as well. I believe that it is not sufficiently recognized just how different in their consequences these two methods are, and just where their difference and where the failure to appreciate their difference takes one. This present time is a period of quite extraordinary uncertainty and indecision on endless questions. Moral questions, aesthetic questions, religious and political questions upon which we should all of us be happier to feel assured and settled. And a very large amount of this floating uncertainty about these important matters is due to the fact that most of us, these two insufficiently distinguished ways of looking at things, are not only present together, but in actual conflict in our minds, in unsuspected conflict. We pass from one to the other heedlessly without any clear recognition of the fundamental difference in conclusions that exist between the two. And we do this with disastrous results to our confidence and our consistency in dealing with all sorts of things. Before pointing out how divergent these two types of or habits of mind really are, it is necessary to meet a possible objection to what has been said. I may put that objection in this form. Is not this distinction between a type of mind that thinks of the past and a type of mind that thinks of the future sort of hair splitting? Almost like distinguishing between people who have left hands and people who have right. Everybody believes that the present is entirely determined by the past, you say. But then everybody believes also that the present determines the future. Are we simply separating and contrasting two sides of everybody's opinion? To which one replies that we're not discussing what we know and believe about the relations of past, present, and future, or of the relation of cause and effect to each other in time. We all know the present depends for its ways for its causes on the past, and the future depends for its causes upon the present. But this discussion concerns the way in which we approach things upon this common ground of knowledge and belief. We may all know there is an east and a west, but if some of us always approach and look at things from the west, if some of us always approach and look at things from the east, and if others again wander about with a pretty disregard of approach and look at things from the east, some of us will get to an eastward conclusion, and some of us will get to the westward conclusion, and some of us will get to no definite conclusion at all about all sorts of matters. And yet those who are traveling east, and those who are traveling west, and those who are wandering haphazard, may be all upon the same ground of belief and statement, and amid the same assembly of proven facts. Precisely the same thing, divergence of result, will happen if you always approach things from the point of view of their causes, or if you approach them always with a view to their probable effects. And in several very important groups of human affairs, it is possible to show quite clearly just how widely apart the two methods pursue with each in its purity. Take those before. unreservedly for the past. From some dogmatic injunction, some finally settled agreement. The great mass of people do so today. It is written, they say, thou shalt not steal, for example. That is the sole, complete, sufficient reason why you should not steal. And even today, there is a strong aversion to admit that there is any relation between the actual consequences of acts and the imperatives of right and wrong. Our lives are to reap the fruits of determinate things, and it is still a fundamental presumption of the established morality that one must do right or the heavens fall. But there are people coming into this world and refuse to follow right. If it brought the heavens about our heads, however coordinated with sources and sanctions, and this new disposition is, I believe, a growing one. I suppose in all ages people in a timid, hesitating, guilty way have tempered the austerity of a dogmatic code by small infractions to secure obviously kindly ends. But it was, I am told, the Jesuits who first deliberately sought to qualify the interpretation of acts by a consideration of their results. Today there are a few people who have not more or less clearly discovered the future as a more or less important factor in considerations. Today there is a certain small proportion of people who frankly regard morality as a means to an end, as an overriding of immediate personal considerations out of regard to something to be attained in the future, and to break away altogether from the idea of a code dogmatically established. Most of us are not so destined as that. But most of us are deeply tinged with the spirit of compromise between the past and the future. We profess an unbounded allegiance to the prescriptions of the past, and we practice a general observance of its injunctions. But we qualify to a vague, variable extent with considerations of expediency. We hold, for example, that we must respect our promises. But suppose we find unexpectedly that for one of us to keep a promise, which has been sealed and sworn in the most sacred fashion, must lead to the great suffering of some other human being, must lead, in fact, to practical evil. Would a man do right or wrong if he broke such a promise? The practical decision most modern people make would be to break the promise. Most would say that they did evil to avoid a greater evil. But suppose it was not such very great suffering that we are going to do, but only some suffering. And suppose it was a rather important promise. With most of us, it would then come to be a matter of weighing the promise, the thing of the past, against this unexpected bad consequences, the thing of the future. And the smaller the overplus of evil consequences, the more most of us will conciliate. But neither of these two types of mind we are contrasting vacillate no. The legal type of mind we may pass unhesitatingly, unhesitatingly The creative mind will unhesitatingly sacrifice its future. The legal mind will say they who break the law at any point break it altogether, while the creative mind would say, let the dead past bury its dead. It is convenient to take my illustration from the sphere of promises, but it is in the realm of sexual morality that the two methods are most completely in conflict. And I would like to suggest that until you have definitely determined either to obey the real imaginary imperatives of the past, or to set yourself toward the demand of some ideal of the future, until you have made up your mind to adhere to one or other of these two types of mental actions in those matters, you are not even within the hope of a sustained consistency in the thought that underlies your acts, that in every issue you respond to one, you will be entirely at the mercy of the intellectual mood that happens to be ascendant at that particular moment in your life. The sphere of public affairs, also, these two ways of looking at things which work out in equally divergent and incompatible consequences. The legal mind insists upon treaties, constitutions, legitimacies, and charters. The legislative incessantly assails these. Whenever some period of stress sets in, some great conflict between institutions and the forces of things, there comes the sorting of these two types of mind. The legal mind becomes crucified and transfigured in the form of hopeless loyalty. The creative mind inspires revolutions and reconstructions. And particularly is this difference of attitude accentuated in the disputes that arise out of wars. In most modern wars, there is no doubt, quite traceable on one side or the other, a distinct creative idea, a distinct regard for some future consequence. But the main dispute, even in most modern wars, and the sole dispute in most medieval wars, will be found to be a reference not to the future, but to the past, to turn upon a question of fact and right. Wars of Plantagenet and Lancastrian England, France, for example, were based entirely upon dummy claims supported by obscure legal arguments upon the crown of France. And the argument that centers about slavery in South Africa ignored any ideals of a great united South African state almost entirely. And however this way and that about who began the fighting and what was or what was not written in some obscure provision of treaties or Yet beneath past century. And a comparison of the wars of the 19th century with the wars of the Middle Ages will show, I think, that in this field also there has been a discovery of the future, an increasing disposition to shift the reference and values from things accomplished to things to come. Yet, though foresight creates our politics and a reference to consequences and co-morality, it is still the past that dominates our lives. But why? Why are we so bound? It is into the future we go. Tomorrow is the eventful thing for us. There lies all that remains to be felt by us and our children and all those that are dear to us. Yet we marshal and order men into classes entirely with regard to the past. We draw shame and honor out of the past against the rights of property, the vested interests, the agreements and establishments of the past. The future has no rights. Literature is, for the most part, history, or history at one remove. And what is culture but a mold of interpretation into which is our thrust, a collection of standards, a sort of a bed of King Kong, to which all new expressions must be locked or stretched. Our conveniences, like our thoughts, are all retrospective. We travel on roads so narrow that they suffocate our traffic. We live in uncomfortable, inconvenient, life-wasting houses out of a love of familiar shapes and familiar customs, and a dread of strangeness. All our public affairs are crammed by local boundaries impossibly restricted and small. Our clothing, our habits of speech, our spelling, our weights and measures, our coinage, our religious and political theories, all witness to the binding power of the past upon our mind. Yet we do not serve the past as the Chinese have done. There are degrees. We do not worship our ancestors or prescribe a rigid local costume. We dare to enlarge our stock of knowledge, and we qualify the classics with occasional adventures into original thought. Compared with those who think of the past, we are distinctly aware of the future. But compared with what we might be, the past is all our. is a perfectly obvious one. We follow a fundamental human principle and take what we can handle. All people believe the past is certainly defined and knowable, and only a few people believe that it is possible to know everything about the future. Man has acquired the habit of going to the past because it was the line of least resistance over time. While a certain variable portion of the past is serviceable as a matter for knowledge in the case of everyone, the future is, to a mind without an imagination trained in scientific habits of thought, non-existent. All our minds are made of memories. In our memories, each of us has something that, without any special training, whatever, will go back into the past and correct firmly and convincingly all sorts of remarkable facts. Sometimes more convincingly and firmly. But the imagination, unless it is strengthened by a very sound training in the laws of causation, wanders like a lost child in the blankness of things to come and returns empty. Many people believe therefore, that there can be no sort of uncertainty about the future. You can know no more about the future. I was recently assured by a friend that you can know which way the kitten will jump next. And to all that view regard the future as a perpetual source of convulsive surprises, as an impenetrable, incurable, perpetual blankness. It is right and reasonable to derive such values as it is necessary to attach to things from the events that have certainly happened with regard to them. It is our ignorance of the future and our persuasion that that ignorance is absolutely infirm that alone gives the past its enormous predominance in our thoughts. But for the ages, the long unbroken succession of fortune tellers, and they flourish still, witness to the perpetually smoldering feeling that, after all, there may be a better sort of knowledge, a more serviceable sort of knowledge, than we know exists. Like a little bit of ASMR. On the whole, there is something sympathetic for the dupe of the fortune teller in the spirit of modern science. It is one of the persuasions that come into one's mind as one assimilates the broad conception of science, that the adequacy of causation is universal, that in absolute fact, if not that little bubble of relative fact which constitutes the individual life, in absolute fact, the future is just as fixed and determinate, just as settled and inevitable, just as possible a matter of knowledge as the past. Our personal memory gives us an impression of the superior reality and trustworthiness of things in the past, as of things that we have finally committed ourselves and said they're the same. But the more clearly we master the leading conceptions of science, the better we understand that this impression is one of the results of the peculiar condition of our lives, and not an absolute truth. The man of science comes to believe, at last, that the events of the year 4000 AD are as fixed, settled, and unchangeable as the events of the year 1600. Only about the latter has he has some materials to believe, and about the former, practically none. And the question arises how far this absolute ignorance of the future is a fixed and necessary condition of human life, and how far some applications of intellectual methods may not attenuate, even if it does not absolutely set aside the veil between ourselves and the things to come. And I am venturing to suggest to you that a possible and along a certain lines and with certain qualifications and limitations, a working knowledge of things in the future is possible and practical things. And in order to support this suggestion, I would call your attention to certain facts about our knowledge of the past, and more practically, I would insist upon this, that about the past, our ranges of absolute certainty is very limited indeed. About the past, I would suggest we are inclined to overestimate our certainty, just as I think we are inclined to underestimate the certainties of the future. Such a knowledge of the past as we have is not all of the same sort, or derived from the same sources. I hope you are enjoying this session so far. We are about an hour in. We have about a half hour left to go. If you lost your focus, feel free to concentrate again back on your breathing and say to yourself in your mind, in, out. Breathe deeply from your nose and exhale from your mouth. In the meantime, I will continue reading these paragraphs from H.G. Wells' The Discovery of the Future. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this session. Let us consider just what an educated man of today knows of the past. First of all, he has the realest of all knowledge, the knowledge of his own personal experiences, his memory. Uneducated people believe their memories absolute, and most educated people believe them with few reservations. Some of us take up a critical attitude even toward our own methods. We know that they not only sometimes drop things out, but that sometimes a sort of dreaming or strong suggestion put things in. But for all that, memory remains vivid as real and real as no other knowledge can be. And you have seen and heard and felt is to be nearest to absolute conviction. Yet our memory of direct impressions is only the smallest part of it. Outside the bright area comes knowledge of a different order, the knowledge brought to us by other people. Outside our immediate personal memory, there comes this wider area of facts or quasi-facts, told to us by more or less trustworthy people, told to us by word of mouth, by the written word of living and of dead writers. This is the past of report, more tradition and history, the second sort of knowledge of the past. The nearer knowledge of this sort is abundant and clear and detailed. The remoter it becomes vaguer, still more remotely in time and space. It dies down to a brief and perfect inscription and enigmatical traditions, and at last dies away. So far as the records and traditions of humanity go, into a doubt and darkness as blank first, as blank as future. And now let me remind you that the second zone of knowledge outside the bright area of what we have felt and witnessed and handled for ourselves, this zone of hearsay and history and tradition, completed the whole knowledge of the past that was accessible to Shakespeare, for example. To these limits, man's knowledge of the past was absolutely confined, save for some inklings and hints, save for some small, almost negligible beginnings, until the 19th century began. Besides the correct knowledge in this scheme of hearsay and history, the man had a certain amount of legend and error that rounded off the picture in a very satisfactory and misleading way. According to Bishop Usher, just exactly 4,004 years BC, and that was man's universal history. That was his all until the scientific began. And beyond those limits, well, I suppose the educated man of the 16th century was as certain of the non-existence of anything before the creation of the world as he was, and as most of us are still, of the practical non-existence of the future. Or at any rate, he was as satisfied of the impossibility of knowledge in one direction as the other. distant beginning of things, has abolished such limits to the past as a dated creation set and added an enormous vista to that limited 16th century outlook. And of what I would insist upon is that this further knowledge is a new kind of knowledge obtained in a new kind of way. We know today quite as confidently and in many respects more intimately than we know Sargon or Zenobia or Caractacus. The form and the habits of creatures that no living being has ever met, that no human eye has ever regarded, and the character of scenery that no man has ever seen or can ever possibly see. We picture to ourselves the labyrinthodon raising its clumsy head above the water of the carboniferous swamps in which he lived. And we figure the pterodactyls, those great bird lizards, flapping their way toward the forests of the Mesozoic age with exactly the same certainty as that which we picture the rhinoceros or the vultures. I doubt no more about the facts in this further picture than I do about those in the nearest. I believe in the megatherium, which I have never seen as confidently as I believe in the hippopotamus that has engulfed once for my head. A vast amount of detail in that further picture is now fixed and finite for all time, and a countless number of investigators are persistently and confidently enlarging, amplifying, correcting, and pushing farther and farther back the boundaries of this greater past, this pre-human past, that the scientific criticism of existing phenomena has discovered and discovered and brought for the first time into the world of human thought. We have become possessed of a new and once unsuspected history of the world, of which all the history that was known, for example, to Dr. Johnson, is only the brief concluding chapter. And even that concluding chapter has been greatly enlarged and corrected by the exploring archaeologists working strictly upon the lines of the new method, that is to say, comparison and criticism of suggested facts. And this great discovery of the inductive past was got by the discussion and rediscussion and effective criticism of a number of existing facts, odd-shaped lumps of stone, streaks, and bandings in grade cliffs, anatomical and developmental detail that has always been about in the world, that has been lying at the feet of mankind so long as mankind has existed, but that no one has ever dreamed before to supply any information at all, much more reveal such astounding and enlightening vistas. Looked at in a new way, they become sources of dazzling and penetrating light. The remoter past lit up and became pictured. Considered as effects, compared and criticized, they yielded a clairvoyant vision of the history of interminable. And to attain to a knowledge of coming things as clear, as universally convincing, and infinitely more important to mankind than the clear vision of the past as geology has opened up to us during the 19th century. Let us grant that anything to correspond with the memory, anything having the same relation to the future that memory has to the past, is out of the question. We cannot imagine, of course, that we can ever know any personal future to correspond with our personal past, or any traditional future to correspond with our traditional past. But the possibility of an inductive future to correspond with that great inductive past of geology and archaeology is an altogether different thing. I must confess that I believe quite firmly that an inductive knowledge of a great number of things in the future is becoming a human possibility. I believe that the time is drawing near when it will be possible to suggest a systematic exploration of the future. And you must not judge the practicability of this enterprise by the failures of the past. So far, nothing has been attempted. So far, no first-class mind has ever focused itself upon these issues. But suppose the laws of social and political development, for example, were giving as many brains, were giving as much attention, criticism, and discussion as we have given to the laws of chemical combination during the last 50 years. What might we not expect? To the popular mind today, there is something very difficult in such a suggestion soberly made. But here in this institution, the Royal Institution of London, which has watched for a whole century over the splendid adolescence of science, and where the spirit of science is surely understood, you will know that a matter of fact prophecy has always been inseparably associated with the idea of scientific research. The popular idea of scientific investigation is a vehement, aimless collection of little facts collected as a power bird collects shells and pebbles in a methodical little rows, and out of this process, in some manner unknown to the popular mind, certain conjuring tricks, the celebrated wonders of science, in a sort of accidental way emerge. The popular conception of all discovery is excellent, but you will note that the essential thing in the scientific process is not the collection of facts, but the analysis of facts. Facts are the raw material and not the substance of science. It is analysis that has been given us all modern knowledge, and you know that the aim and the test and the justification of the scientific process is not a marketable conjuring trick, but prophecy. Until a scientific theory yields confident forecasts, you know it is unsound and tentative. It is mere theorizing, as evanescent as art alone. Phantoms politicians talk about. The splendid body of gravitational astronomy, for example, established itself upon a certain forecast of stellar movements, and you would absolutely refuse to believe its amazing assertions if it were not for the same unerring forecasts. The whole body of medical science aims and claims the ability to diagnose. Meteorology constantly and persistently aims at prophecy, and it will never stand in a place of honor until it can certainly foretell. Chemists forecasts elements before he meets them. It is very properly his boast, and the splendid manner in which the mind of Clark Maxwell reached in front of all experiments and all these things that Bruni had materialized is familiar. All applied mathematics resolves into computation to foretell things which otherwise can only be determined by trial. Even in so unscientific research as economics, there have been forecasts. And if I am right in saying that science aims at prophecy, and if the specialist in each science is in fact doing his best now to prophesy within the limits of his field, what is there to stand in the way of our building up this growing body of forecast into an ordered picture of the future that will be just as certain, just as strictly science, and perhaps just as detailed as the picture that has been built up within the last 100 years of the geological past? Well, so far, and until we bring the prophecy down to the affairs of man and his children, it is just as possible to carry induction forward as vanity. It is just as simple and short to work out the changing orbit of the earth in the future until the tidal drag follows one unchanging face and laps toward the sun as it is to work back to its blazing and moving past. Until man comes in, the inductive future is as real and convincing as the inductive past. But inorganic forces are the smaller part of the minor interest is concerned. Directly man becomes a factor of the nature of the problem changes, and our whole present interest centers on the question whether man is doing it individually and collectively incalculable, a new element which entirely alters the nature of our inquiry and stamps it at once as made and hopeless, or whether his presence complicates but does not alter the essential nature of the induction. How far may we hope yet to trust for the induction of the future man? Well, I think on the whole, we are inclined to underrate our chance of certainties in the future, just as I think we are inclined to be too credulous about the historical past. The vividness of our personal memories, which are the very essence of reality to throws a glamour of conviction over tradition and past inductions. But the personal future must, in the very nature of things, be hidden from us so long as time endures. And this black ignorance at our very feet, this black shadow that corresponds to the brightness of our memories behind us, throws a glamour of uncertainty and unreality over all the future. We are continually surprising ourselves by our own will or want of will. The individualities about us are continually producing the unexpected, and it is very natural to reason that, as we can never be precisely sure before the time comes what we are going to do and feel, and if we can never count with absolute certainty upon the acts and happenings, even of our most intimate friends, how much the more impossible it is to anticipate the behavior of any direction of states and communities. And we are almost at the end here. So, at this point, you can take yourself a few more moments, focus again on your breathing, in, out, out. And if you had your eyes closed, you can open them now. If you were lying down or seated in a comfortable position, you can slowly get up if you want. Or if you've just been walking around the house or doing whatever it is you're doing, you can keep doing that. And slowly come back. To this world. Whatever your world looks like this moment, and whatever it entails. We were talking so much about the past, the future, but in your world, each of us worlds, it's always the present. It's not necessarily about past or consequences, future. It's not what was or what will be, it's just what is. Right? And Liav, I would like you to change the camera angle a little bit so that people can see all of those prints that you hang on the. Yeah? Can you see those? Yeah. Yeah, we got some work done today. Look at that. Wow.
We did an edition.
You almost did a whole edition of prints. I haven't even noticed. I was so absorbed in my own thing, my own talking and playing.
Yeah.
But nice, awesome.
Now the last one, I did an edition of 10.
There you go. So we got a whole. That's what we got accomplished today. I hope you've had as fruitful day as we had. Yeah, and I think I think we're gonna leave you guys with that. So hopefully you had a great session. Hopefully you got your concentration or focus or relaxation or whatever it is that you were looking for. Um, and feel free to join. So I do these sessions every week on Saturday. Oh, wait, 1 second. They don't see you. I'm gonna change the camera. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see one of the prints that we have made today. Yeah, awesome. And did you do any other ones? Can you? What are those over there?
The ones for Finland.
Yeah, the ones for Finland that you were talking about. Oh yeah, there you go. It's a very nice closing of the circle because you showed that that template at the beginning of the and now we have a lot of those actually hanged there. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. So as I was saying, I do these sessions every weekend on Saturdays and Sundays. On Saturdays, I usually do more jazz type of music, a lot of improvisation. On Sundays, I do meditative music. And Saturdays, we are journeying, let's say, at 12 p.m. Eastern. So we start at 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's New York time. Make your adjustments based on wherever you are. And on Sundays, I do it at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Once again, that's New York time. Make your adjustments based on wherever you are. Other than that, and yeah, I just want to say that usually I'm at my house over in Tel Aviv. But this weekend I came over to Liav's house and his amazing studio right here. And thank you so much, Liav, for hosting me. And it's been really awesome. So I think maybe we'll do it again in the future. I don't know.
Let's see.
Very cool. Yeah. Let's see. We'll have my secretary talk to your secretary.
Yeah. My people will talk with your people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We can schedule something up. But even if not, by the way, I want to say that in the very nearby future, I'm going to be doing these kind of broadcasts from many other places. So please stay tuned. I'm going to announce it soon, hopefully, and it's gonna be awesome. It's going to be a journey for me and hopefully for you as well. Other than that, if you want to check
Gav's stuff out, uh, tell them where they can find you, how.
Yeah, sure. So you can find me on Instagram. On my Instagram is Chopin dot printmaker.
Yeah, and Chopin is Shopen, which is not like how you spell the composer's name.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
The origin is different.
the origin is
Yeah,
yeah, but I've always liked him. I mean, he
yeah,
is my favorite composer.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so Chopin, Shopen dot printmaker. Uh, that's handled on Instagram.
Yeah.
And yeah, and with me, you can find me, wherever you always find me. I mean, on Facebook and Instagram at Ellipsis Bus, ELLIPSISBUS. And this live stream is on Facebook Live and on YouTube and on Twitch and now also on Kick.com. If you're joining us from any of those platforms, please feel free to use the chat. Let me know. Tell me if you like this session, if you would like to see more like that, less like that, etc., etc. Please give me some feedback, comments. I would absolutely love that. And please support my work. Follow everything. It's a zero cost way that you can support me without doing anything yourself. Just helping me with the algorithm, which is what I think we all need.
Yeah, we're
help
fighting
with.
the algorithm.
Yeah, we all need help with working with the algorithm. So, it's the future, or rather, it is the present, but it is the future, the place where the technology has brought us at this time. Yeah. So once again, thank you so much. I'm Ronnie. We had Gav with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting this channel. And with that, this is Ronnie, and we out. Say goodbye.
Bye.